Ladies and gentlemen, friends and foes, lurkers and regulars, genetically modified people, and organic people, welcome to the Boiler Room. Ladies and what is that? All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute that. I had to mute you there, Spore. I'm not sure if that was coming from your mic or what, but hey, welcome to the show, everybody. We're sorry we're a little bit late tonight. We had some technical issues, so we got those ironed out. We got our StreamYard all fixed, and we're good to go. We're live here at alternatecurrentradio.com. live at Spreaker.com, live on YouTube, and live at Rockfin. What's up, Rockfin? How you doing out there? What is going on? All right, well, let's see. It is August the 18th, and it's time to do some Boiler Room over here. Let me go ahead and just, since we're a little bit late, we'll just crash on into it. There's the room. Green room is open. Let me get a quick mic check from Spore here. Spore, how's it going? You cool? I don't. Oh, there we go. There we go. Try again.
Doing good here?
Yeah, now you're doing good here. All right, cool. All right, great. Okay, let's introduce everybody. We've got Mr. Corey Drayton, the Wandering Wolf, joining us once again here in the Boiler Room. Corey, how's it going, man?
Hey man, this is our second time today, so it's good to be back with you. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. My dog is in the room keeping the gremlins at bay, so as long as she's got my back, I'm happy to be here.
All right, yeah, I gotta have those security agents to watch the door while we do the thing where we look in the camera and talk into the microphone. Those security dogs are important. All right, we've got Ruckus of the Daily Ruckus joining us tonight. Also, Ruckus, what's going on? Welcome to the Boiler Room.
Howdy. Thanks for having me, folks. Yeah, I'm glad that we got this going. It might be a little late, but we still got it, and that's what counts. And yeah, so without further ado, let's move on to you-know-who.
Yeah, better late than never. Yeah, you got it. We got the Brady Bunch squares going here, and Ruckus knows exactly which direction to point. I'm going to point like this and say, look who's next, the one and only, the very lovely, the curator of all things Whiskey Tango Foxtrot on the interwebs, lovely Spore. What's up? How's it going? Welcome to the show.
Going great. Always happy to be here. And wow, Clown World just sparks up so many amazing icebreakers. Thanks for all the submissions. It's really hard to figure out what to talk about when there's so many weird things. And so I decided to go with one that actually Ruckus submitted. It's entitled. Thank you.
The ice is breaking. Here we go.
The feds published a list of emoji code for drugs. So, think those emojis your teens are using are harmless? Think again. The DEA says, especially if there's a maple leaf involved. So, basically, these kids, they figure their way around stuff, and there's all sorts of filters on their internets and ways to spy on what they're doing, but they're crafty. And apparently now teens are using emojis of crystal balls to buy meth, a blowfish emoji to buy cocaine. And if you think you're using a maple leaf to talk about the lovely neighboring Canada, no, you're mighty wrong. The agency says this is a universal symbol for drugs.
The maple leaf, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, which I would think like initially would just be like kind of like the hidden emoticon for pot, but apparently the DEA says it just means all drugs.
DEA, oh, the ever so helpful DEA. So what are they suggesting? They have a guide aimed at parents here, and it's a list of representative sample of emojis found in DEA investigations. So am I overstating this, or is the DEA saying that they want to get in between parents and their kids here? And they actually, Spore, did they say something about parents can send stuff to the DEA and have them check it for them? I mean, what's the actual point of this? Is it just informational so that parents can know what emoji drug code is?
I didn't really see any true guidance or suggestions. It was just like, what? The kids are using symbols for different meanings. I mean, that's really all I got out of it.
All right. Take a look at the emojis used for prescription drugs, dealers, and other drugs like MDMA and marijuana, and see for yourself.
And
Very weird.
that's the end.
Wait, there's a slideshow. Oh, let's check this out. Hold on.
I
There's
didn't see the slideshow.
yeah, check it out. So we've got a slideshow here. They're not telling us what they all mean though.
What could the plug mean?
I don't know.
What does the banana mean?
Oh, it's up top. Emojis for Percocet and oxycodone.
Oh, okay.
And then the previous one was emojis of dealer advertising.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right. What else do we got? Emojis for Xanax. They have the pill for the audio listeners out there. It's a pill, a chocolate bar, and
The Xanax bar, right? Isn't that what they're called?
yeah, Xanax bar. There you go. What's with the short bus though?
Have you ever taken a Xanax? Maybe you feel like you need a short bus when you.
I've never taken a Xanax or a short bus, so I guess I'm just out of luck on experience for this one. What else we got? Emojis for Adderall, and that is a pill, an A minus, and a Metro car of some sort. Adderall. All right. Signal for high potency drugs. Oh, watch out. So you got a rocket ship, a bomb emoji, and an explosion emoji. High potency. Is that fentanyl, or what do they mean by high potency? That could mean a lot of things.
Yeah, I think that would cover a lot of things.
There's some highly potent weed out there. What about that? Does that count? Where's the weed ones? Universal code for drugs, maple leaf, a large batch of drugs, a cookie emoji for a large batch. I don't know. This seems like I mean, it's clever. It's clever, you guys, but it seems a little bit a little too general. I don't know, because a large batch of drugs. What does that mean? Cookie emoji. Okay. Does that mean you're getting
I don't know,
kilo?
but I think it could be confusing and like not spotted by a parent easily if they were like, really trying to like be secretive. Like I wouldn't as somebody overlooking a child, I wouldn't be like, oh, there's a cookie. That must be a large batch of drugs.
Right.
So it's informative.
All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna jam through these because there's a lot. Emojis for meth. So you've got the beaker, the diamond, the blue heart, and the crystal ball. Emojis for look how many emojis they have for cocaine. This one has
I didn't
more.
know that was hip with the kids.
Oh, I didn't either. I thought this was like a old people's drug.
Me too. I thought it was like more boomerish.
Boomer. What do you mean? Gen X loves it too.
Okay, Gen X boomer.
All right. Cocaine, they got the 8-ball. That's obvious. The key. Okay. Key. Get it? Like kilo. Tongue out emoji. Normal yellow face tongue out emoji. I don't get it. Snowman. I get it. Snowflake. I get it. Puffer fish.
Blowfish.
Blowfish. Thank you, Spore. All right. There we go. The blowfish. What's this? Emojis for heroin. Ooh, a brown heart and a green dragon. What else needs to be said? MDMA and mollies. We got candy, red heart, X, big red X, the pill, and the lightning. Yeah, someone in the chat wants to know where's the LSD one. I want to know that too. Okay, marijuana. We got a puff of smoke, fire, 2 different types of tree, a shamrock of some sort, and the O face, surprise face. I don't get that one. What do we got? Emojis for cough syrup. Come on, who cares about cough syrup? Well, I guess they do funny things with cough syrup, right? I've heard. Well, yeah, they could butt chug the cough syrup. I also recall one where it was like this was way back in boiler room history, boiler rooms of yore, like 2015. I recall one where kids were taking bottles of cough syrup and tying a shoelace or a string around it and then whipping it around like a centrifuge, right, to separate the components in it. Apparently, once you do that, you get a wicked buzz. Don't do that, kids. Don't do any of this shit, kids. All right, let's see. Cough syrup. What else we got here? Mushrooms. Well, gall. Duh, of course. A mushroom. All right, well, there we go. That's the end of our slide deck on that one. So good stuff. Thanks, Spore. Thanks, Ruckus. Ruckus, you're the one that brought this. Where the heck? How did you come across this one, man?
Yeah, I totally forgot. That was just on the news feeds one day, I suppose. I was out there swimming in the mainstream media, just avoiding the sharks, because there's been a lot of those lately. And lo and behold, I found this helpful, informative code handbook. Man, they really, I don't know, man. I'm curious, like, how do they know this? Where did they learn this from?
Right?
And
I
and
mean,
and what do they think about this? Is this what they would expect to find if this is all above board? Because that was my first question. I was like, is this what kids are really doing now? Because like, I don't know. I agree with some of those marijuana ones. I would say, okay, I recognize some of those possibly being used, but I don't know. There's just so much of this. It's really interesting. I think it's a nice window into what the kids are thinking, but I don't know. Um, Spore, what you were saying about the parents being able to decode this, do you think the parents can decode anything the kids are saying in their little text speak? I don't. It took me many, many years to figure out just what LOL stood for, to be honest with you.
I think it totally depends on the parents and the kids, really. Honestly, there's probably parents that don't even care to, and probably parents that are way overlooking stuff, and kids that are very crafty, and kids that are kind of dumb, like.
Now, the thing is, no matter what, I don't think, because I'm not sure if it said it in the article, but they're not using emojis exclusively. So I imagine in my head that they're using the emojis to substitute whatever they're talking about, which is kind of silly and stupid because isn't that a dead giveaway? It doesn't matter what emoji you put in there. If you're like, hey, bro, I need some, and in this case, they drop a maple leaf or a tree, and the dude's like, yeah, I got you, right? It could be anything. You say, yo, dude, I need some, and it's a picture of a cat smiling or a picture of a banana, and before you know it, the parents are going to be like, Billy, why you keep texting Joey that you need some banana or
Yeah, well, I
some
mean, you're
eggplant?
presuming the parents are smart enough to even take the hint or even be looking. So it's like, I mean, there's a lot of parents that wouldn't take that hint. They'd be like, "Oh, that's a silly, cute emoticon." I think it could work for a lot of kids, and there's a lot of parents that aren't looking in the first place and aren't clever enough to figure it out. But I would hope most parents that were kind of like checking on their kids would be able to be smart enough to be like, okay, well, why do I keep seeing a blowfish in my kids' texts?
all right, Wandering Wolf, what do you think, man? You know any parents that are dealing with this emoji speak? I mean, I gotta say, when it's hard for me to put myself in the shoes of the youth, if you will, because we didn't have cell phones. None of the four of us had cell phones when we were of the age where we were, trying to be crafty and stuff like that. And I gotta hand it to them. They have. I'm not gonna hand it to the DEA. DEA, get a real job. Find something better to do with your time. My goodness, this is stupid. Get out of parents' lives. Get out of everybody's lives. Actually, why don't you just shut yourselves down? You're wasting our money here. But yeah, what do you think, Wandering Wolf?
Well, there's a few things I can say about this. I mean, the first thing for me was they missed out a drug. Where are the whippets? Shouldn't there be an aerosol can in there for the whippets too? I heard those are
Oh
coming
yeah.
back. Yeah, I mean, there was actually an instance in my very neighborhood of some teenagers. This is back during the lockdowns. They were going back behind the house, and people were finding these canisters of aerosol behind the house, and no one could figure out what it was. And so I happened to walk past with the dogs, and I said, "Oh, it's whippets, obviously," and kept jogging on.
A
Of course, I
balloon would
never.
be a perfect
No one
emoticon.
asked.
A balloon, the old
There we
whippet.
go. Exactly. No one bothered to ask how I knew about that information, but so there's that aspect of things. There's also I think the potential for pre-crime here if they start applying an algorithm to search for these emojis, and given a certain degree of context, they can predict who might be engaging in drugs acquisition behavior. I think that the article itself being targeted at parents could potentially be a smokescreen to hide the fact that they have this technology and they can deploy it, probably already are deploying it or want to deploy it to the general population. So I think it's kind of softening the blow that this is actually happening. So I think it's I do think it's a PR move for pre-crime, if that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, that does make pretty good sense, man. Because pre-crime is super popular. It's a big part of the new normal, the fourth industrial revolution, all that stuff makes total sense. Um, Session Jones says, I think how well you pick up on it depends on how good you were at pulling the wool over your parents' eyes when you were a kid. Oh, all right. Well stated. Yeah, definitely. A creative accidents. I love it. Yeah, that's the kind of emojis we used to have here. Let me put this on the screen for everybody here for a second. For those of you on the video stream. Remember this one? Let me make it a little bit bigger. The boobies on the calculator or on the original Nokia text there. It's like parentheses, 2 periods and a Y. Yep. That's the level we were dealing with when we was kids. There you go.
Oh yes.
Classic. Well, emojis. There you go. I don't know what to say beyond that. Watch out for the pre-crime. There's
Are you kidding me, Hesher? I remember trying to spell out bad words on a calculator.
Oh, me too. Doing
Yeah,
like
yeah.
hell upside down, like you had to hold the
Yeah.
calculator upside down and do 4377 or something like that.
Yeah, there
we had
was a
some.
reason that you would get the scientific calculators back in the day, because you could actually do the calculations, flip it upside down, and get all kinds of interesting words in various languages too.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
I don't know if you guys saw in the comments on this article, a Mr. Fox, who I really, really hope is a social reject, posted this brilliant meme. Is your child texting about anarcho-communism? And it's a whole bunch of, they're taking standard elite speak turns of phrase, BRB, LOL, and translating them into what might be anarcho-communist slogans. It's pretty brilliant. It's the first comment there. Yeah.
There it is. So BRB, better redistribute bread. LOL, let's overthrow landlords. SMH, seize means of production. Hurry. TBH, take back housing. STFU, support the factory union. Oh yeah, okay. That's well spotted there, Wolf, for sure. You gotta love that. All right. Well. Okay.
Do they have a definition for what BFD means? Out of curiosity.
No, but I noticed Obama likes that one these days, right?
That's right. Yep. He, a man of many words, came out to praise Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act there, the climate change one. That was not a Freudian slip, by the way, about Bill Gates. Look into that one. But yeah, he says he's all Joe or something. This is a BFD, and he retweets the president Joe Biden's tweet about being proud to announce the Inflation Reduction Act or whatever. And then Joe Biden replies, he's all, thanks, Obama.
And little does everybody know, but he's standing there with his phone in one hand still, and he's got his hand out like he's waiting for someone to shake it, waiting for a ghost to shake it. I hope everybody's seen those videos. They're hilarious. They're absolutely hilarious. All right. Well, is that rain I hear, or is my ear still ringing from the firing range today? We've had some weather today out here. Got our first little bit of rain in weeks and weeks, maybe months out here in Texas. Sounds like it, but my ears are all screwed up. I forgot to wear my ear pro today when I was at the rifle range, so I took a little bit of damage in the right ear on accident. So I'm hearing things in my cans, regardless, no matter what. Not as bad as the Slayer show. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about me, folks. I'll be fine. Okay. Well, let's see. What else do we got here? Do you guys want to say anything more about this, or shall we move on? Because I got a hot one here. All right. I got a big WTF. So we've been talking about these 87,000 IRS agents. Everybody's been talking about this for the past week or so. So let's just make sure we got this right. We spent the last 2 years trying to defund the police, right? But we're all supposed to be chuffed now that they're gonna take our tax money and make a bunch of federal police to see if they can come take more of our tax money with the money that they took to make the federal police. Huh. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I got that right. Defund all the cops. Cops are bad. All cops are bad. But then steal everybody's tax money and set up a enormous overbloated IRS. All right. Okay. Sounds good. And we touched on this last week, I think. It's all such a blur. But I remember thinking at the time, like, how do you even train 87,000 people? What kind of people are going to be taking this job? Some of you might remember me saying this. And I also looked at the hours on the post. Remember, we were looking at the hours on the post, and it said like 50 to 60 hours a week, on call nights and weekends and holidays, all this stuff. And I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be a $120,000 a year job, $160,000 a year job. It was 50 to 60,000, I think, something like that. Who does that? Who goes and gets a job at that level that requires you? I mean, aspiring content creators aside, talking 9-to-5er jobs here. I mean, it just doesn't sound like proper compensation to me, especially for law enforcement agents. I mean, geez, I think even that's like school teacher range, isn't it? Which is already abysmally low for what they have to deal with. So I got this video here. I think everybody's seen this by now, but let me just play it because I just can't believe this. I'm having a hard time believing, number one, they're doing this, and it's not just a troll. I feel like they're conspiracy candying us and just sort of, browbeating us and trying to get us riled up with this whole concept. But they did pass a $387 billion bill or something like that. So, and apparently this is part of it. And it does fit in with the way the current clown administration rolls. But when it came right down to it, I was like, how are they going to get all these law enforcement people? Like, we're talking about investigators, people that can serve search warrants and stuff like that, right? Well, is this just more trolling or what? Like, what is this right here? What is this?
Put your hands up. Put your hands up. You're under arrest. Where's that hands up?
You steal money from the government, you're going down. Down. I have a gun.
That person, for the radio listeners out there, I just can't even believe this. Can't even believe this stuff. None of these people know how to even hold a fake.
Put your hands up.
All right. I'm going to get out of that. None of these people even know how to hold a fake gun properly. So for those of you out there that are just listening to this on the podcast, you got to check this out. Let me read the comment from this person, one of many people that posted this. It says it's actual IRS training. Okay, let me just make that clear. I haven't verified this yet. Maybe someone in the boiler room has. I have not verified this yet. It's unbelievable if it's true. It's absolutely unbelievable if it's true, because these are not people that look like they have any sort of training whatsoever. Like, if what we're seeing here is training, it's not going well. And it's actually good news for all the middle class people who are expecting 87,000 IRS agents to come looking for their Trump checks or their Biden checks to take back or whatever. But Kawa M official, who posted, one of many people that posted this, said, if real, what a joke. Zero standards, physically and mentally inept, untrained, no firearms discipline or experience in tactics or team protocol, but watch them get funding for ARs, tactical kit, and vehicles, and other assets to enforce the IRS agenda. The scariest part is that these tax cops are just a placeholder for when they start bringing heavy hitters with experience. Okay, so I think that's pretty well said right there. This is a joke. These are placeholders. These are people that will get each other killed. They're flagging each other with the muzzles of their guns. They're walking around with their fingers on the trigger. Ruckus, what's the most egregious thing you saw in there? There's one thing in particular that just really drives me crazy.
The first one was, I think you just addressed it, but everyone's just like walking right in front of each other's like line of fire, left and right, everywhere, just in a giant circle. I'm like, okay, that's great. You guys are just going to take each other out. Awesome.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that version of it. That one there was heavily edited. I saw an entire from beginning to end version of it. And it actually began further out inside this building they were at, wherever it was, which looked like it was either a large university area or it was like some sort of hotel. And a large number of these agents were walking in a line and just joking around and talking. And then they took a select amount of them, the ones that you saw inside that room, and they lined them up against the wall. And the supposed instructor asked them if they were ready, and they all got their hands ready on their fake weapons. And then they closed the door where that was taking place, like an empty conference room or a gym area. And the cameraman entered the room and closed the door. That was the other thing I noticed, is the person who was filming this was walking, backwards, following this whole line of people, right, the whole time, or with a GoPro. So the whole way it was filmed was very interesting to me. And then you see the whole thing, but what it didn't show on there was as part of this training is some of their interrogation before that, I guess. And they're talking to these people who are saying like, I don't know, I'm just a landscape guy, I'm just a small business owner, just saying these kind of things, and then getting these people's emotional reaction like, that doesn't matter, sir, we're agents, you're in trouble, you're under arrest. It reminded me of the Alex Jones the police state videos from back in the day, where they were like supposedly training the National Guard and the cops, and you had like these people playing like the crisis actors as well. You can't do this, I'm an American citizen. And they're screaming at him, get down on the ground, you can't do this, this is a free country. That's what it reminded me of, except they were like screaming about how they're just like normal people just trying to live their lives, run a business. So that leads me to think this is legit, because that's the kind of crap I saw back then when they were training these other people. So that's what I have to say about it.
Have you seen any of this stuff, Wandering Wolf? You got any thoughts, or is this the first you've seen it?
This is the first that I've seen it, and if it's legit, it's beyond absurd and beyond egregious, both at the same time. I mean, the lack of fitness, the lack of trigger discipline, the way they were moving, the lack of tactical coordination, the lack of prowess, all of it. I mean, it's just laughable and terrifying. Because they end up getting themselves at a triangulation of fire, and then you've got a situation where they're injuring each other and possibly any innocent bystanders who happen to be in the area. And so I look at this and I say, okay, the sloppiness of this, it almost does seem intentional, right? Because of course, if there are incidents that take place, if there are accidental shootings that take place, then the clamor for professionals, heavy hitters to come in is inevitable. It's the situation is incredibly disturbing to me. And it's hard for me to, even though I look at it and I say, this is absolutely absurd and I want to laugh, I just can't, because it's so horrifying to witness.
Yeah, man, it's a big problem for me. I have a big problem with this one. No matter, we've come up with, between the person that posted it, Ruckus, yourself, all our listeners, we've come up with a number of things that this could actually be. I'm having a hard time believing this is actual IRS training, but maybe it is. But as Ruckus said, we've seen stuff like this before. But the scariest thing is the bottom fucking line here is all cops are bad, defund the police. Okay, how's that working out? How's that working out in all the states that have these Soros-backed and fronted DAs who don't convict or charge on anyone anymore, right? Crime spiking big time.
Hesher, I'll play devil's advocate for a second. What if it was like one of these situations where they said, okay, you guys go handle this situation the way you think it should be done, and that they're watching them to then point out all of their mistakes? I don't know.
Yeah, well, there could be something there. My concern is that the overarching theme here is that we are federalizing law enforcement because they're already talking about appointing sheriffs instead of electing sheriffs. Like that's an initiative going on in California. They're saying, we should just appoint the sheriff and not have them elected. And that's a huge problem. The sheriff is basically the last law enforcement person we have that we have any say in electing, if elections work. So as it is, if we federalize the police, this is the placeholder for it. I think you're right on that one, Ruckus.
Yeah, if this is real, this is really scary. I mean, I saw a different clip earlier too. It was a much shorter one than you saw, Ruckus, but it was like a bunch of slobs coming into this like open dining hall or whatever, open area with like they had protective vests, but they weren't even like snapped up together. And then they're like basically pointing their guns, like you said, at each other as they're it was just the most disorganized thing. And it's like, and then they come up to this, it's like they all surround this old guy and then this older gentleman, this ordinary dude, like this guy that's like not doing anything wrong, but I guess maybe he didn't pay his taxes. Like, this is really disturbing. Like if they're.
And the guy in the wheelchair, that just kills me.
Yes.
What's that? I mean, I've got it on screen here. If you're listening out there, you're not going to see it. Go check it on YouTube or Rockfin, but the guy in the wheelchair. I mean, I'm not trying to be ableist here or anything, but I mean, don't you need to be able to chase down a perp or go up some stairs? I mean, what is that? And nobody has their plate carrier on properly. They're all cattywampus and not stuck together. I mean,
flopping around.
Look at this chick down here in the leather boots. In the size 42 pants. I mean, who are you chasing down?
Why are they even chasing anyone? They're the IRS.
There you go. There's a better picture of it. I mean, they haven't even been trained how to hold a firearm. All right. It's a massive troll. Like this chick right here. Look, she's doing the teacup method. The teacup method of holding a firearm has not been trained in like 30 years or something like that. That is a great way to hit yourself in the face with your gun.
Well, this guy's wearing 2 masks. That should slow the bullet a little bit.
Yeah, double masking, bro. Absolutely amazing. The whole thing to me is just what the hell.
And then there's a mindset of the people too. I mean, I know. So they got that. There was that clip of the woman who was talking about, if you steal money from the government, this is what happens. Okay, yes, I know it was lib and she was probably just taking the piss, but still, someone who's in that position to say something like that as a representative of a federal agency, damned unprofessional and completely insane. This is not someone who is taking the responsibility that she's being given seriously. And those are not the kinds of people that I want vested with that kind of power at all. And I was kind of, when we touched on this last week, I was thinking about all of those 23-year-old kids who were enforcing the mask mandates. You want to go out to get a sandwich in Portland and you've got some blue-haired 23-year-olds screaming at you for not having a mask on. And this is someone who they've never had any stake in anything. They don't own anything. They don't have any real responsibilities. And they've been vested with all this power to tell other people, their peers, their countrymen, what to do, right? It's fucking ridiculous and egregious and absurd, and people shouldn't stand for it. And we were talking about culture jamming this morning. We were talking about pointing out the hypocrisy. Here's a great opportunity to do just that, to really showcase these people for the clowns and jokers they are. We are giving power to the people who are least capable of managing that power with any degree of competence or responsibility. And whoever thought this was a good idea should be fucking ashamed of themselves. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, man, totally. All right, let's see. I got breaking information from one of the social rejects here. Let's take a look at this because this is what I've been wanting to know. What do we make of this? What is this? What the actual F is this? Let me see if I can't blow it up a little bit, make it a little bit easier to read. So this is a fact check, so keep that in mind. We got a fact check going on here. And leadstories.com. Thank you, Creative Accidents, for saying it. So the fact checker says it's not. They say this is not to do with the current situation. Does this video show footage of new IRS agents in training? No, that's not true. The footage is from a university event held in 2017 for accounting students that allowed them to perform a mock investigation with IRS Criminal Investigation Unit agents for a day. The claim appeared in a Facebook post on August 17, 2022. The post included a link to a video featuring people in vests that read IRS CID police and participating in what looked like practice for law enforcement duties. The title of the video read, "Watch stunning footage shows Biden's new army of IRS agents in training." The caption of the post read, "There are so many things wrong with this video. This is what the post looked like on Facebook at the time of the writing." All right, so looks like Brian Kilmeade posted that also on his Rumble. It says here, the footage is actually from an event called the Adrian Project, which was hosted by the IRS Criminal Investigation Newark Field Office and held at Stockton University in Galloway, New Jersey in 2017. They have an archive link here. The IRS describes its Adrian Project as a day-long mock investigation program for students. And it goes on to have a description here. I'll throw that into the show notes so you folks can check this out and read it on your own. Yeah, so there you go. There you go. Maybe we got an answer there. Maybe this is conspiracy candy and it is meant to rile us up, because that would explain the utter lack of any sort of law enforcement whiff at all on that. So we'll have to look more into that, read about the Adrian Project. But folks, make sure that you know to go look at this, because that's what we're talking about. We got to mind the conspiracy candy. Is this conspiracy candy? Don't always trust the fact checker either. You can't just say, oh, fact checker said it's not true, so it's not true. That is definitely a bad idea. All right, here's another piece of information we can add to this part of our little investigation here, which we're doing in real time on the Boiler Room. Let me show you guys this link. All right, let's see here. We'll go full screen. And look, October 30th, 2017. Looks like this was posted even in the URL. You can see up there, 2017. This does appear to have been posted in 2017. Stockton University. Accounting students get hands-on lesson in IRS criminal investigations. Boom, there you go. Accountants don't typically carry guns, but as 24 accounting students at Stockton University learned, being a special agent for IRS criminal investigations mean you might uncover a money laundering operation for terrorists, resulting in an armed raid. All right, so there you go. I think we're getting a little bit closer to being able to confirm that this is conspiracy candy right here.
And Hesher, there was one of these news reports, a couple of them back, that we were showing. And in the picture, I made the comment about the dude with the face mask. So they're administering and overlaying pictures from a current time with the people wearing the masks, because the people in 2017 weren't wearing masks because, that wasn't a thing back then. And as we just saw, no one in the video is wearing the masks. So they're confounding images and headlines and getting everyone to latch onto it and spread it across on Twitter so that now they can have their Twitter accounts whacked. How dare you? You're in Facebook jail for 30 days for sharing this information.
Yep. Oh man, that's nasty. That is nasty. That's nasty stuff right there. So obviously there's even some digital manipulation happening in some of these pictures. You see, this is the problem. This is the problem, and this is why we do what we do, right, Wandering Wolf? This is exactly what we were talking about today on TNT on the Brian McLean Show, folks. If this is the first time you've checked in the Boiler Room for a while, you got to go check out TNTRadio.live because much of the Boiler Room team has been hanging out over there. I got a show over there, and Wandering Wolf is appearing there often, and Ruckus is co-hosting the second hour of the amazing Joseph Arthur's Technicolor Dreamcast, which he'll be heading off to in a little bit here. We got to keep our eye on that clock so we can make sure Ruckus is over there on time. But yeah, Corey, you and I were talking about this kind of stuff earlier today. So we're talking about categorizing news, categorizing stuff. Where do we put this one? Where do we put this kind of? Because this is a messy one. This one has spread far and wide. And I haven't made any definitive statements about it other than WTF until tonight. But after looking through the records here, thank you, Creative Accidents. This appears to be conspiracy candy, trying to relate it to the current IRS debacle.
It does indeed, and it sort of ends up being this. It's a pastiche of fixations. It's a pastiche of various things, past and present, all combining and coalescing as one. It was amazing to kind of see that unfold in real time. That's what we always have to be doing with everything that we're exposed to, and I think this notion of pause and doubt is especially prudent in situations like this. You encounter something, you take a pause for a moment. The I wasn't there principle, the I'm going to doubt what I'm being presented with right now until I have more information. That principle, all of that applies, right? I mean, that's the only way that you can really discern what is actually going on because of the degree of image manipulation we're exposed to constantly, daily, all the time. The other aspect of it too is any sort of amateur photography or amateur video. Some of that could actually be a person on the ground with a phone capturing something that's going on, but that could also be someone working for an agency who's filming it in that verite fashion to make it look like it's amateur, to make it look like, oh, this is just authentic, but just capturing the thing in the moment. So it's always important to sort of recognize the different tools that can be brought to bear to create a perception. The perception economy is real, and it's definitely something that I think we all have a very large stake in and have to make sure that we're protecting. So yes, doubts and discern, create that pause, investigate and look, do comparisons, and try to gain an understanding of when the images were captured and whether or not they've been manipulated in any way, just as you've done here.
Right. See, look at this one. Look at this one. You can kind of, now that we have a little bit more context, this particular shot right here makes a little bit more sense because you see that guy in the khaki shirt there. This makes a lot more sense in the context of that guy right there. If you're viewing the video for this, if you're listening, there's one guy surrounded by all these other people that clearly look like they are college students of some sort. And that guy right there in the khaki shirt, he's drawn a gun before. He's worn a gun on his side before. You can see him, and you see everybody looking at him, trying to figure out what he's doing because he's trying to teach them how that works. So I think we got a little bit of extra context on this one now, and it makes a little bit more sense. What do you think, Ruckus? Great success. Can we put this one to bed as conspiracy candy now?
I think job well done, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, another piece of the praxeology here that we can use, the steps, is crowdsource this stuff. If you can't figure it out, if you're in the middle of a live stream like we are and you're simply trying to figure out it in real time, let people know, hey, does anybody have a link on this? Can someone hook me up here? Even if it's a fact check, and we don't like fact checks because they're often opinions. They're often things meant to tamp down open discussion, but in some cases, you might find a nugget of truth in there.
I think I'm learning a shortcut about most of these, though, by the way. Just something that might put you down the right path of maybe you might want to look at it closer, even if you don't have time right now. Maybe bookmark it for later. But if it sounds too good to be like, I mean, that was too obvious. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, there's a lot of these. That's just too obvious moments, and yeah, that's why we got to be careful. That's why I don't think anybody here jumped on immediately the laptop thing with Hunter Biden. But you have to. Sometimes these things turn out to be true, but you got to be careful.
Right. You can only see so many videos of Hunter weighing out crack and smoking crack and passing out in strange places with crack pipes and hookers before it's like, all right, well, this is clearly a thing. Maybe now the question is it been released on purpose? Is that the big psyop here? Because it's just as inflammatory, right? Like that's what everybody is so upset about with Trump getting raided. It's like, Hunter's over there, we got videos of Hunter doing crack and Hillary having, servers with top secret information on them. And, everybody's like talking about that. And it's like, well, maybe it's there on purpose. Maybe it's there to piss us off. Maybe it is there to continue the polarization on it. I don't know. Just maybe. I don't know. We're just wargaming because of the I wasn't there principle. We weren't there. So we can't say for sure, That's the thing with learning to protect yourself from predatory mass media. It's never just a 1-2 punch thing, It's full spectrum hybrid sort of information warfare.
Right, and the timing is key because you have to get in there with this kind of analysis before the singularity point, which is when the narrative starts to coalesce and there's this established universalized understanding of what happened in a given event, right? So the suppression of all other points of view, the suppression of information that's inconvenient to the narrative that is supposed to be rising above all others. So you have to get in there with that analysis before the coalescing of the narrative too.
Right. Timing is key. Timing is definitely key. All right. Let's see here. Well, I think we got that one pretty much nailed down. We got a couple more minutes before we're going to take a break here. We are going to take an intermission in a moment here, but let's go back to hashtag eat the bugs for a moment. Oh boy, not again. Here we go. This is Sean Baker posted this earlier today. Check this out.
You've never eaten a cricket before? No? You tried? Where do you find a cricket to eat? So there's this company right here in Manitoba. They're called Prairie Cricket Farms. And what they do is they farm crickets and they put them in nice little bags. And then you can eat the crickets. If you feel brave enough, at lunchtime, maybe you'll be able to eat it.
They don't even want it. It tastes good.
What flavor do you got?
I have no idea. It's kind of like a peanut. I think I'm so confident about it. No, it tastes good. Yeah, it tastes like wait, which one do you have? I have roasted.
And how was it? Was it good?
Yes.
What is going on here? Why are they doing this in school? This oh boy, gross. Actually, very, very gross. So for the listeners out there, what you just heard, all Sean Baker had to say was brainwashing in real time. But we're seeing a company called Prairie Cricket Farms being featured in a school classroom in Manitoba. I think they said it was. I don't know what's more disturbing. Taking time out of education to do product placement and social engineering on what are these, like fifth graders or something? Or the fact that these kids are all still double masked and I don't know. This is just stupid. I can't even believe this is going on in the schools. I don't understand why people still put their kids in schools if this is what's going on. I mean, I'm sure there's still some that are good out there, but I'm not seeing any footage of schools that don't have kids just constantly masked up. Even with the new CDC relaxations, every time I see a piece of footage from a school, it's all masks, kids waiting in line for tests, and now some ghoul up there trying to get them to hashtag eat the bugs.
Where did you say that was? Manitoba?
I believe so.
Isn't that in Canada?
Yes, it is.
Okay, there you have it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Canada is one of these places that seems to be full on board with the Great Reset, the agenda. They're the ones who decided to, hey, these people are protesting about us infringing on their freedoms. Well, we're just going to cut them off from their bank accounts. Take that. Yeah, so this doesn't surprise me at all. So.
No, not surprised to see that in Canada for sure. Still though, it's something really cringy about seeing this sort of salesmanship. I mean, he's got business cards, handing out business cards and swag and bags of bugs to kids.
What's the code emoji for hey man, I need some of those grasshoppers, man.
Yeah. The bug emoji. I don't know. Wondering Wolf, what do you think, man? Going into schools to try to tell kids they should eat bugs.
I watched this play out. In the clip, I looked at the guy. I looked at how he was masked. I looked how smug he was, handing out those bags of crickets to the kids. And I've never seen someone be so smug about child abuse. Because okay, fine, I don't have kids, but that's what it looks like to me. You're doing something completely unnatural with children. And everyone is standing around feeling wonderful about themselves and feeling virtuous and smiling. Look at this. Look at these kids having a great time. Look at these kids taking on the wave of the future. They're going to be such great, moral, virtuous citizens of the new frontier. You've got to be kidding. This is completely ridiculous, completely absurd. And anyone looking at this thinking that this is okay, please stay far from me.
Yeah,
it's just awful.
No, it's a little bit gut wrenching to look at it, and like what a waste of time too. Like the parents, they go to all this stuff to get their kids into school. Hell, some of these parents had their kids take the experimental, jibby jab so that they could continue to go to school. And what are they learning? They're learning anything here. They're being brainwashed.
They're learning how to be they're learning how to not be human, essentially. Sorry to step on you, mate, but that's essentially what it is. They're learning how to not be human. It's inversion. It's let's inculcate them into everything that goes against the imperatives of the species, is what it is. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about that. I'll just leave that to everybody, unless anyone else here wants to throw anything else on that. That is just annoying as all get out. All right. Well, hey, shout out to everybody in the chat rooms. What's up, Gerchop? What's going on, Timothy? Good to see everybody out there. And we got Rooster and Jeff over there on the Rockfin. What is going on, my dudes? And okay, I got a few more clips and stories and stuff, but I think we're going to go ahead and take an intermission over here in the boiler room. We'll take a break here, give Ruckus a few minutes to reset, take a breather before he has to head over there to TNT Radio to do the Joseph Arthur show. Yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet if we'll come back for part 2 on YouTube or not. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll just run it on both. I think I may have gotten all my COVIDian anti-jibby jab stuff out of my system already this week, so maybe we're safe on YouTube for part 2, but we'll see. Everybody, thank you for checking out the show. Part 2 will be available for everybody either on Rockfin and YouTube or over on Rockfin. We'll drop something in the chats to let everybody know. Ruckus, over to you for any parting words, since you probably won't be here for the post-intermission segment of the show.
No, actually, I know I won't be, because as you mentioned, I'll be over on our other home away from home, TNT Radio, and I'll be hanging out with my good friend, my other brother from another mother, Joseph Arthur for the second hour over there. So, luckily that, like the show you're watching and or listening to right now, you can always catch this stuff later in case you miss something. So there's never a conflict of interest when it comes to any of this stuff, folks. So when you're done checking out the Boiler Room, later on you can check out a replay of one of my most recent appearances on Joseph Arthur, or the most recent episode of the Brian McLean Show, perhaps the most recent appearance of Wandering Wolf on the Brian McLean Show. So, hey, did you miss Sunday Wire this weekend? Well, that's okay. You can go catch up on that too. There's a lot of great stuff going on here. So much love. Shout out to both networks. But yeah, I'll be over there while you guys are wrapping up things here. I'll have to catch the replay of the second hour of the Boiler Room. So that's kind of weird, but I'll be certainly sure to do that. But thank you guys for having me, and much love. May God bless each and every one of you out there. May God save this republic.
Yeah. All right. There he is. That's Ruckus, everybody. The host of the Daily Ruckus, available here in the Boiler Room every week and out there on the Joseph Arthur Technicolor Dreamcast, Monday through Friday at, I'm just going to give it to you in my time zone because I got that locked in my brain, 11 p.m. every Monday through Friday. And we had Wandering Wolf on my show today, the Brian McLean Show. We had a great time. We also had the Odd Man Out join us, and you'll want to go check that out in the archives. So if you're just finding out about all this and you're not up to date, just go to tntradio.live. You can go click on shows or episodes. You can find everything. You'll find Patrick Henningsen over there. You'll find myself, Wandering Wolf, Ruckus, Odd Man Out. And I'll give you guys a teaser. I'll give you a reason to be there for the live show tomorrow. I'm going to be joined by Benny Wills in the third hour of the Brian McLean Show, and we're going to talk about parrhesia and a lot of other stuff. So it's going to be cool. All right. Spore, you got anything you want to throw out there before we go to break? Are you ready to go to break?
No, I'm ready.
All right. All right. Well, that's it. We're going to go to intermission for now. So thanks, everybody, for checking it out. We're going to take 5 or 10, and we'll try to come back for a second part. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It may just be me and Wandering Wolf, or this may be the end of the show. I don't know. We've got so much going on today. But yeah, we'll try to get back with you in a little bit here. And if we don't, we'll see you on TNT. We'll see you on ACR. We'll see you around on the internet. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the other side.